Right, and so the next part that I'm recording is all the word problems from 23 to 30, all right? And so I'm gonna begin with, obviously 23. And so on this one, it's very simple and straightforward because they're kind of telling you already what they're looking for. And so notice that this cost is already laid out for you. So they're telling you it includes an overhead of $5,200 plus the production cost of $2,000 per performance. That's your X. So we already know that the C of X for this equation has to be the $52,000 because that's the overhead for just having the theater, plus the $2,000 per performance, and we're going to call that X. It says a sold out performance brings in, that's your revenue, sold out. It says that you're going to make 6,000 X for every performance. And so if you look at the answer choices, the only one that would match our criteria for this answer would be C. And that is your answer. For question 21, it says Ann May owns a business making and selling jackets. She has a fixed cost of $11.20. So we can begin our equation for cost, which is $11.20. Plus, it costs her $51 per jacket. Her selling price is $67 per jacket. So R of X is going to be 67X. And then it says determine the number of jackets to be made and sold to break even. So to break even, we set these two equations equal to themselves. So I'm going to do the work over here. So 1120 plus 51x is equal to 67x. And then this becomes 1120 equals, subtract, you get 16x. After you subtract, and then you divide by 16 on both sides. And then you end up with X is equal to 70. So 70 units would be what you would need. Number 25, you have a vendor that sells hot dogs and chips. So think of this as your X, this is your Y. A customer buys 2 hot dogs, so they buy 2X and 5 bags of chips, so that's 5Y. And that cost is $8.75. Another customer buys 3 hot dogs, so 3X plus 2 bags of potato chips, hence 2Y, and that equals $9. And now we want to find the cost of each. What I would do is cancel one of the variables, so I'm going to go with X because X looks easy to cancel. And so I am going to multiply this by -3, and I'm going to multiply this by +2. So the X's cancel, I don't even need to worry about them. This puts me at -15y is equal to, and for the bottom part 4y is equal to, this is equal to 18, and 875, let's see, 875 after I transform it, gives me 26, is that correct? Let me just double check that. Yeah, 2625. Alright. So I have 2625 here. And so I can go ahead and just cancel this out to leave me -11y is equal to 2625 negative minus 18 is going to put me at 8.25. And then I have to divide by -11. And I get y is equal to 0.75. At this point I can go ahead and I could substitute back into any of the other two equations. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to take my 0.75 and I'm going to say 2 times 0.75 plus 5y is equal to 875. And so 2 times 0.75, that's $1.50, which I'm going to subtract, so I'm going to have 8.75 minus 1.50, which leaves me 725, and I'm going to divide that by 5. Let's see what's going on here. So 5 times Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized what I did. I switched these. So the y is the 0.75. So this, let me rewrite this entirely over, my mistake. Alright. So we're going to have 2x, I'm going to use this equation, and we're going to have 2 times x plus 5 times 0.75 equal to 8.75. Alright, and this gives me 375 for this piece here, which I'm going to subtract here. So that leaves me basically 2x is equal to 5, and so x is equal to 2.50 or $2.50. So that should be answer choice D. Let me erase this just a little bit so we have some space, and then we'll go from there. Okay, the next question, we have the Family Fine Arts Center charges $20 for adult, we'll call the adult X, $12 for every senior, we'll call that Y, and notice that these are dollar signs, so that's going to give us one equation. The X and the Y by itself is going to give us the count. So I know that x plus y, based on the question, should equal 494, because it states it right here. So I'm going to have a certain number of adults and a certain amount of senior citizens. As far as the cost, or the profit in this case, 20x plus 12y should bring in a revenue of 7,120. And so they want to know how many who paid are senior citizens. And so for this question, if you solve for one variable in terms of another using this equation, you could substitute it in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say x is equal to 494 minus y. And so this will become 20 times 494 minus y plus 12y is 7,120, and so I believe this gives you 9,880 minus 20y plus 12y is equal to 7,120. So if I subtract the 9,880 and I combine these two like terms, I end up with negative 8y, negative 8y equal to negative 2760. If I divide by negative 8 on both sides, I end up with y is equal to 345, and that is the number of senior citizens. So in this case, answer choice would be B. If you wanted to know how many adults, you would simply go back to this equation and subtract, and you would end up with your number, which I believe is 149. Alright. Or you could actually just substitute that in there. Okay, a bank teller who has 50, this is a quantity, $5 and $10 bills. So we'll call the X the $5 bill, and we'll call Y the $10 bill. Or reverse that. That's up to you. Let me make some room here again. Alright, so to work this one out is very easy. This is probably one of the quicker ones that you have on this worksheet. Let me see if I can get as much of this off as possible. Okay. So in our example, we're going to say x plus y is equal to 50, and that's our quantity equation. Our cost equation is 5x plus 10y is equal to 430. Same difference here. You're going to solve for one in terms of the other and substitute it in. So in this example, I'll use x equals 50 minus y. in for x, and so I'll substitute that in here. So I get 5 times 50 minus y plus 10y is equal to 430. And so I'm going to end up with 250 minus 5y plus 10y is equal to 430. I'm going to subtract 250 on both sides. Alright, and so this, combine those two give you 5y, and so 5y is equal to 180, and therefore y is equal to 36. If you are being asked in this case how many $5 bills, go back to this equation. That means that x plus 36 is 50. And I believe that if that is the case, then if I subtract 36 on both sides, x has to be 14. So yeah.